Realme is back with another mid-range phone, the Realme 16 Pro. On paper, this looks like a familiar upgrade. The camera gets a big jump and the processor changes from the Snapdragon 7 Gen 4 to the Dimensity 7300 Max coming from the Realme 15 Pro. I've been using this phone for the last 2 weeks and the real question is simple. If you already own the Realme 15 Pro, does upgrading to the Realme 16 Pro actually make sense? Let's find out. If you are new to the channel, I am Siddharth Malhotra, you're watching Digit. Let's get started. Let's start with the design. Realme says this phone is a collaboration with Naoto Fukasawa, and while the back does look clean, the camera modules feels very familiar. I know what you did there, Realme. It resembles what we have already seen on some flagship phones. This time, the pulse light is cone. Personally, I don't miss it. The unit I have is in orchid purple, and thankfully it isn't that flashy. The color looks subtle and clean. You get a plastic bag with clicky power and volume buttons. The bezels on the front are slim, but this is a large phone. For me, one-handed use is not practical. Durability is where Realme goes all in. You get IP66, IP68, IP69 and even IP69K certification, which means it can handle high-pressure water jets. You also get stereo speakers and they get loud if you push them to 300% volume. There's an IR blaster too, which lets you control home appliances. The Realme 16 Pro comes with a 6.8-inch 1.5K AMOLED display with a 144Hz refresh rate. I tested it in vibrant mode settings and the panel looks punchy with good viewing angles. I watched Stranger Things on this and I have no complaints about the display. However, in my display testing though, the display recorded an average delta E of 1.7 in my Calman color test. And in the color gamut test, it got 96%. That's acceptable but not class-leading. Realme claims up to 6500 nits of peak brightness. In my testing, the display reached around 2620 nits, which is still more than enough for both indoor and outdoor use. Powering the Realme 16 Pro is the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 Max. If that sounds new, it really isn't. It's essentially the same chip as the Dimensity 7300 Plus used in the Realme 15 5G. The unit I tested has 12GB RAM and 256GB of storage. In daily use, the phone feels smooth. Scrolling, streaming and general app usage are all handled without lag or stutter. Gaming is where you start to see limits. While playing BGMI, I did notice frame drops. This is not a performance-focused phone and it shows under load. Even though the display is 144Hz, but you can play BGMI at 90 FPS only. Benchmark results were solid. Realme claims around 971K on Antutu and my unit was close to the 1 million mark. In CPU throttling test, it throttled to 95%, and the Geekbench and 3D Mark results were in line with expectations. Now this is the main reason this phone exists. The Realme 16 Pro gets a 200 megapixel main camera paired with an 8 megapixel ultra-wide. In daylight, the main camera delivers sharp and detailed photos. Colors stay close to natural, highlights and shadows are controlled well, and the dynamic range is solid. On human subjects, the phone brightens the face slightly, but detail is retained. 2x shots look good, and even at 4x, detail holds up better than expected. Portrait mode is another strong area. You get good background blur with reliable edge detection. You can shoot portraits at 4 focal lengths, though I am mostly stuck to 2x, but again, you can see some softness on the human face. The ultra-wide camera shows minimal color shift compared to the main sensor, and detail levels are acceptable, but the photos turned out to be soft. One thing happened 2-3 times that it added some green tint to the photos. For video, the phone supports recording up to 4K at 30 FPS and the output is usable. On the front, there's a 50 megapixel selfie camera and selfies come out sharp with plenty of detail. The Realme 16 Pro runs Android 16 with Realme UI 7. Personally, I'm not a fan of this UI. There is bloatware, though it can be uninstalled. In terms of updates, Realme promises 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security patches, which is good for this segment. You also get several AI features, including AI Framing Master, which automatically adjusts framing and zoom. There is Google Gemini Live, where you share your camera in Gemini Live conversations to talk about anything you see. Battery life is one of the strongest aspects of this phone. The Realme 16 Pro packs a massive 7000 mAh battery with 80-watt fast charging. In my PC Mark battery test, the phone delivered close to 22 hours of screen on time, which is excellent. Charging from 0 to 100% took around 96 minutes, Not the fastest, but considering the battery size, it's reasonable. So you can easily expect a full day of battery life during heavy usage, and in medium usage, you can easily use this phone for 1.5 days. The Realme 16 Pro is a camera-first mid-range phone with strong battery life and a solid display. The 200 megapixel camera is the clear highlight, backed by good daylight performance and reliable portraits. Battery endurance is another big win. However, the performance upgrade over the Realme 15 Pro 5G is almost similar. The gaming performance hasn't improved much and the software experience remains cluttered. If you already own the Realme 15 Pro, upgrading only makes sense if the camera upgrade and bigger battery matters to you. Otherwise, this is not a must upgrade. For new buyers, the Realme 16 Pro makes sense if you prioritize cameras and battery life over raw performance. That's it for the review. Let me know what you think about the Realme 16 Pro in the comments, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.